The irony. Why is it that those that vote for something complain about the outcomes of that thing? It drives me absolutely insane. Now, Brexit, case in point. Those who voted for it are now saying, hang on, this ain't the Brexit we voted for. Got Richard Tice constantly moaning about it, saying we should have gone full Brexit. That'd have made everything blooming worse. And now we've got the farmers protesting again down in Kent and Wales, etc., whinging and whining because the Brexit that they voted for is not the Brexit that they wanted, but it was always going to be the Brexit that they got. You have to admit that. It's just the fact. Well, I know what you're going to say. How do you know that farmers voted for Brexit? Well, they pretty much told us as such before the referendum vote. They put it on their trailers, they put it on their farm gates, they put it on stacks of straw, big posters saying, vote out. Well, you see, a poll was done as well, yeah. Oh, crikey. Back before the vote by Farmers Weekly, yes. British farmers vote for Brexit. Now, a poll was undertaken by the Farmers Weekly, and they asked 577 farmers how they were going to vote on the 23rd of June. And this was, self-selected to represent the profile of farming in the United Kingdom. Now, I'm saying British farmers. Oh, I might want to, how to put it, correct that later, but let's carry on for now. Now, 58% said that they would vote for leave. 58%, that's more than the 52% that we got. And 31% said they would vote Remain, and 11% said they were undecided. Flippin' numpties, that's what they are. I'm sorry, just say it as I see it. Now, I know I'm going to get slated for this video, but the fact of the matter is you believe the likes of Michael Gove, yes. The farmers believed cokehead, Michael Gove, who once said nothing would change if we left the EU. In fact, it will be sunlit uplands. It'll be wonderful, it would, yeah. Well, what a flippin' parasite. Afterwards, he made speeches saying if we didn't, leaving the European Union, we're going to have to make sure that we've got a Brexit deal. A trade corporation deal. He said it would be shite otherwise. Guess what? We got a deal. And it's still flipping shite. Well, Brexit was always going to be that ball and chain. There's no getting away from it. It's just what Brexit is. You don't cut off your ties with your closest trading partner. That's just stupid. As stupid as stupid does. I'm frustrated, okay? I'm absolutely frustrated at the stupidity and the dishonesty by the farmers. I'd have more respect if they held their hands up and said, we made a mistake. But no. They dig their heels in and blame every other bugger. They do. At least Ian Perks, the fisherman that was, used by Nigel Farage as some kind of Brexit fanboy, even he come forward and said, I hold my hands up. I made a mistake. Well, I respect that. Still did it though, didn't you, you blonker? Well, anyway. The Scots, yes, the Scots, they had more sense. I'm not sure about the haggis though, I don't get that, no. Why would you eat that? I've never tried it, so how can I really comment? But it doesn't look very good, does it? Crikey, it looks like, I don't know, looks like a turd in a skin thing. I don't know, look, to me it looks like you're shat in a condom. I don't know. It just don't fancy it. Maybe someone can prove me otherwise, alright? Send me a hack or something and I'll try it. I'll do it live. I don't know, cook it. Do you boil it here? I don't know. Don't you cook them? Anyway, I'll probably get stopped by red tape anyway. But there you go. So Scots, they had more sense. Since in this poll, farmers in Scotland and the Northwest and Wales, well, none of these areas want to leave. And none of the votes exceeded, in the referendum vote, exceeded 50%. And just 12% of English land, not voted, I mean, as in this poll, would vote. And 12% of the English land qualifies, you see, for less area subsidies. So that might be the reason why the English voted for Brexit. They weren't getting quite as much dough. But see, a lot of these Scottish farmers are Highland farmers, and they've got huge areas of land that isn't really arable other than for sheep, goats, animals that like to climb. Okay, and just So anyway, the English got less than 12% of the subsidies, and the less favoured areas subsidies compared to 78% in Wales and 84% in Scotland. Did you know the Scots fooled the English tourists, telling that the sheep were tartan sheep? Yeah, special tartan sheep for the tartan wool, you see, for the tartan kilts maybe. I don't know. Oh, whatever it is, they were tartan. Anyway, you could argue, no wonder that they voted Remain. The Scots, that is. Now, this was a poll, obviously, and now we've actually had that Brexit. Yes, a whole load of numpties, including farmers, voted to leave. Not all farmers, obviously, but I would say probably a majority of them did. This is polls pretty much said 58% voted to leave. But will they admit it? No, not at all. They just whinge about it. Whinge about their Brexit. Oh, we were lied to, they say. That's what get me about Brexiters. We were lied to. What a load of flippin' bollocks. Yeah. It's ridiculous. The information was there for you to do your own analysis, not listen to politician salesman and Nigel Farage and Michael Gove and the like. You know, these people are no liars, and you still believe them. I had someone in my live stream yesterday saying, well, I have to be honest, Nigel Farage was the only politician I could actually relate to. What does it say about you? No wonder people called him a racist. I mean, this poll, now we've had Brexit. Now, would these farmers now just hold their hands up? Please, just hold your hands up and say, I made a mistake. But no. They just whinge and they whine and blame every other bugger and say, then say, UK food security is at risk. They tell us. To worry us, to scare us. But you caused it. For God's sake. If we didn't have Brexit, you farmers would not be in the shit that you're in now. And there they are with their slogan saying, no farmers, no food. Now, it was clear that if we were to leave the EU, that we would not have any say in how the EU markets operate. And we have. We no longer have that seat at the table. We no longer have access to 40% of the EU budget, or part of that 40%. And don't we know it now? We can't even export to the EU as we once did before. No. And they were told this would happen. These farmers, English farmers, they truly scuppered themselves and everybody else with it. I know it's a bit of a rant, I know, but it just frustrates the hell out of me. And now you've got not for the EU labelling. Currently, anything that enters Northern Ireland has to have this sticker saying not for the EU. Okay, because the red, green lanes and all that, and the Windsor framework. Okay, all right. Well, people are saying in the EU now, saying, hang on, is British food, is it bad? Is it unedible? Is it toxic? Is it poison? Well, food that's grown in the UK, no, but we're importing every goddamn thing these days and it's entering the food train. And we're importing food from, well, Africa, for instance, and we're at risk. The ports have pretty much told us that they've 70-odd tons worth of pork from Africa. The potential risk of African swine flu. No wonder they think, hang on, I don't ever want this now. So exporting into the EU would be even more difficult. And people in the UK saying, hang on, if it's not for the EU, my God, why don't they want our food? Is it bad? Is this government trying to poison us? Certainly poisoning your minds, anyway. God. What happens in October? When those labels are going to be on all your food in the UK. Pretty much saying, okay, British farmers produce crap food. And they were told this would happen. They were told this would happen. Crikey. People like me and others with louder voices have said that this would happen. Stupid is a stupid does. If you do something blooming stupid, you have to expect something stupid's going to happen. This is how it is. It's not rocket science, is it? Really? And is it in rocket science that if you scupper your market, you're going to scupper yourself? Now, I have a lot of respect for the likes of Liz Webster of Save British Farmers. She's an advocate for rejoining the European Union. I can't see it happening myself. No, definitely not in my lifetime. But at least she's on the right side. But even though she did not vote to leave her cash cow, the EU, we should stop saying that farmers didn't vote to leave the European Union when we know full well that they did. They were very vocal about it, just like the fishermen, maybe not quite as loud as the fishermen, but they were definitely vocal. Some would say it's all the Tory landowners and what have you. No, tenant farmers also were complaining about the European Union, saying, I wanted to leave the European Union. They truly, well, lost their minds. They certainly did, thinking that these were honest politicians, telling them that everything was going to be rosy, we're going to have sunlit uplands. But we must own our mistakes. We have to accept when we cock up, if we are to mitigate those mistakes. Now, the EU, quite frankly, protected the farmers within the European Union, that included the UK at the time, from tyrannical governments. Because that's what you got now, a tyrannical government. In this case, the MPs, they wanted their Brexit because they didn't want their wealth to be exposed. Kind of got exposed anyway because of Pandora Papers, etc. But they pushed for Brexit. They wanted to get out of the EU as quick as they possibly could to protect their own asses. Now, the agricultural policy in the EU was there to benefit the whole agri-sector. It was there to create food security within the European Union. It was there to protect UK farmers and the rest of the EU farmers as well from foreign imports, etc. To prevent diseases spreading across the European Union, including the United Kingdom. And obviously there are rules that have to be abided as such. And okay, you might not some rules might not apply to you, but you still got to abide by them. It's like an insurance policy. You might not like paying the fee, but you certainly like getting the payout, don't you? Well, was it perfect? No, obviously not. Nothing's perfect in life. But compared that to what you have now, I would say it's probably, well, it's better. The case of the better the devil that you know. Instead, farmers just threw themselves into the devil's pit, like they did. Now, the CAP, their Common Agricultural Policy, payments to the UK averaged around 2.88 billion. All right. Now, when you consider the UK's contribution to the EU for the agri sector was around 8 to 9 billion, you could argue that there'll be more money to be had. But you're relying on the government to spread that money to you. And now you're not even getting the 2.88 billion. Talk about pulling the rug out from underneath yourselves. Now, in 2013, these subsidies were £58 per acre on average. They represent about 35 to 50% of many farmers' gross actual income. Nearly half their money was coming from the EU. And in some cases, depending on what kind of farming you're into, and obviously the amount of land that you had in relationship to your output, it could be as much as 100%. But now, it's a case you've got no subsidy, and you've got no say in the market that your closest market that you want to sell to. So yes, do I say that you're a bunch of numpties? Yes, you are a bunch of numpties. The farmers have voted for Brexit. How can you argue that? The farmers say they're being shortchanged. They did, didn't they? Yeah, and they've been challenged by cheaper imports from third countries. Now Brexit did this, and you voted for it. Now we had free access to 500 million people across the EU. But now, that free access, yeah, if you know what I mean, it comes at a cost. It's not free. There are fees to be paid with all that red tape. 36 different forms for every shipment. Mixed pallet loads, completely and utterly scuppered. Haulage companies don't want to touch them. No. Yes, the EU definitely benefited agriculture in the UK in so many ways, from development grants to the single market, interest-free agri-loans for your machinery and barns and God knows what else you need. Interest-free. Where have they gone? I haven't got them anymore. No. And obviously the crucial, the subsidies, the CAP and what have you. The European Union, it provides a stable market to export freely. But now the farmers are protesting, blaming absolutely everyone else, instead of admitting that they cocked up and put food security at risk. I think the blame falls squarely at their feet. You know, the farmers that voted to leave the European Union. But will they admit it? No, they will not. They will say diddly squat, except, whinge and whine because they feel they've been hard done by. I'm sorry, but I know we're going to get a load of squit on this one. So, I wish I had more sympathy for the farmers. What about food security? You know what I've been had food security for 200 odd years. This is just deeply frustrating. I'm seeing it across the board, and many sectors in the UK that are suffering, and those who vote for Brexit just will not admit they cocked up. They just won't. Anyway, what do you reckon? Please leave it in the comments down below. Oh, dear me. And I do read the comments. I can't always reply, but I do read the comments. But please beat the old like button, because it helps the channel, you know, and I need all the help I can get. But for now, I'm going to leave you with some pork markets.
In December, I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork markets.
Hiya, everybody!
Oh my giddy arm. Is that a crazy person? Oh, it's the missus. Well, welcome to our rewilding project here in France. Oh look, there's another crazy person. Oh, it's me. And the dogs, obviously, they do like to help. Usually by watering the trees just after I planted them. So what are we trying to achieve? Well, we're trying to plant 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land. Oh, I say. Now, since we started this project, we have become more aware of habitats for the little critters. Yeah, on this land here, where this other crazy person is. Yeah, okay. Well, as you can see, we're progressing nicely. We're planting trees all over this land that we are there. And, as far as the eye can see, eventually, up to the tree line anyway. So, there's Artemis. Oh, there's Spawns and Nikita Schmidt. See, lots of signs with names on. I know. You're wondering, how do I get my name on one of them signs? Well, check out the link in the description and be a part of the project. Oh, you see, it's not just sticking the trees in the ground and watering and what have you. No, we have to protect the signs and put them with the trees. Yeah, just little birdies and they've got somewhere to live. And a little sowing of some wildflowers for the bees. Eventually, your signs will be mounted in the trees when they're big enough to, hold them. Some of these trees were planted last year, and they got a little bit weedy. So I sent out the missus to do a bit of hoeing and a bit of direction too. You missed a bit, you missed another bit, and that bit there, and and that bit. Bird box construction commences. Yeah, about 60 of them. And a drink of water. Oh, that's the idea. You got it. That's it. Okay. Oh, and we're making signs to go with the trees. And we're using a laser. It's like Moonraker, you see. So you can have your own sign with your own message for your own tree. Here in France, you see. We're not only buying trees from the local nursery, no, we're making our own, propagating them. And these willows are for the arbours, and you could have an arbour too. Yeah. Our bird cloning efforts have been working. Yes, they have. Yeah, more birds. Okay, and more birds. Oh my giddy aunt. Oh, is that the end? No. If you haven't done so already, and you would like to have your name with a tree, or maybe in memory of a loved one, there is a GoFundMe link down below in the description for which you can make a contribution and get your very own little tree, which will grow into a big tree, and we will look after that. So remember, link in the description down below. Because me and my dear missus would like to thank you all for your kind contributions. I salute you. Ta-ta.